Hey, Flosstube.
Hi, Flosstube. We're the Stitchin' Misfits.
And we're
checking directing back again.
We're back.
For today, at least.
Yeah.
We'll see how the rest of summer goes. We may need to, a little more hiatus, or maybe just record once a month. We'll see. We'll let you know.
We'll just
We're not going
she
anywhere.
told you there was no schism. We're good.
There's no schism. There's not, bitch. So anyway, we're drinking iced tea today because summer just started in Texas officially, and today was over 100 degrees. It got to 102 by me, so it is
iced
tea as Satan's ass crack.
So native. Sweet iced tea for us today. Not really super sweet.
Not really sweet. So this is a course from our favorite Adagio. This is their white peach iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sweet white tea with flowery flavor of juicy peaches. And I'm going to show you this because it's not loose leaf. You can get it loose leaf, but the way they do it is they put it in little bags, like a nice big big mesh bag. Because the difference between loose leaf tea and tea bags, a lot of tea and tea bags, especially like the commercially available stuff.
Look at all that goodness in there.
Yeah, like if most teas you get from the store, it's kind of like the end pieces. They call it fannings. It's like kind of tea dust, and they don't give it enough room for the leaves to expand. This one has a lot of room for the leaves to expand, and they're using like full leaf pieces in this one.
So you've got this much room for the tea to
kind of explode it. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's, in case y'all didn't know, that's the benefit of you doing loose leaf. But Adagio makes these iced tea ones this way because what you can do, this, like one bag makes 1 quart, which is 4 cups for, non-metric people. You can put this in a quart of water and put it in the fridge overnight and let it steep. Mm-hmm. And it actually is really good. It's really flavorful. We didn't brew it that way today because we brewed it just like 15 minutes ago or something. Yeah. So what we used is this
from Tivana,
and actually I have one that's called, different companies make these. This one has Hanan said she got from Tivana before they closed. That was bad on you, Starbucks. That was really stupid. Why would you close Tivana anyway?
Right,
jerks. So what it is, it also comes with this little thing so you can brew loose leaf tea. But the cool thing about this is we filled up with like half of the hot water and threw a bag in, let it steep for about 4 minutes, took the bag out, and then we filled it the rest of the way with ice. You screw the lid on really tight, and you shake it. Shake it. And it cools it down really fast. It's like flash iced tea. Mm-hmm. It is really freaking awesome.
And as you can see, we've had it poured for a while. There's condensation on my glass.
It's very icy, yes. So it's a cool way to quickly make iced tea.
And we made it with just very little sugar.
Yeah, we just put like maybe for this whole quart, maybe a couple teaspoons.
If that.
If that, just enough. And
it just take that little bitter edge off and bring out the peachiness.
Yes.
But it smells super peachy.
It's not not like fake peach, not like peach syrup, canned peach syrup, but more like real peaches.
Like real peaches.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a white tea, so you're not supposed to boil the water. You want to only get water up to about 180, 185 degrees for white tea.
She bought a fancy kettle to do that.
Yeah, I think I posted it on my Instagram a few weeks ago when I got it. I love it. You just push the button for what type of tea you're making, and it tells you what temperature range it goes up to, and then hit start. And then it beeps at you when it's ready. And it's awesome.
I want one now.
And then it also keeps the water at that temperature for like 30 minutes or something.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
It keeps it warm.
So if you want a second cup.
Yep. If you want to steep it again, do that.
Yay.
It is awesome.
So what have you been up to since your rogue video?
Stuff.
Things.
Life stuff, for the most part. Too much life stuff. It's cool.
Haven't really been doing much, so
yeah, working, doing different things, just being really busy, busier than I anticipated being. But that's life,
It is.
So we have been doing a bit of stitching. She
has.
I've been doing some stitching.
I've done stitching since our last videos. I do have some finishes from Misfit Mania. Woohoo!
Yoo-hoo!
And that sort of thing.
Awesome.
So
we've got some stuff to show you tonight. We're not just going to talk the whole night. We could.
We could
totally do that.
But
you probably don't want to see it. You want to see stuff and things, and we're going to show you things and stuff. I'm going to start? Or?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's start with my finishes. And most of you have probably seen these on Instagram as I whizzed through them. Anyway, so I did Spooky.
Where's Spooky?
Where's Spooky?
And that was from one of the Just Cross Stitch Halloween ones, wasn't it?
I think all of my patterns are from Just Cross Stitch 13. I would have to look at my notes, but I think they're all. Oh, hang on, I could tell you.
Yeah, I know they're all available for download.
Yes, Halloween 13 is when where all of these are from.
Awesome.
So, Spooky, Poison. Spooky is done on.
Is that Ada?
It is an Ada. It's an 18 count Ada that I bought on Stash and Load from someone. I don't remember the color, but I think Bendy Stitchy did something on this. Bendy, if you know, can you comment below? I think we had the same color. This is 14 count Ada.
That's cute.
It's going to be trimmed like really super close and then put on a hung ornament.
These are all ornaments that
Yes.
she did.
This is Boo, Tombstone.
That's a Prairie Moon, not Prairie Moon, Prairie Schooler. All these prairie things. Good
This
luck.
is a Prairie Schooler. I think this is the one I stole from Annie.
Yeah, because I had a duplicate. It was one of their mini card packs or whatever. Yeah.
So I love doing this, and this is on a 36 count Ada.
Woo.
Or linen.
Linen.
14 count Ada. Beware.
Beware.
I just love these colors. It's going to be finished round, hopefully.
Cute.
And then Boo a latte.
Lattes.
Maggie said he's a very buff ghost. Or was it Nada? Or Nada said
I
that.
don't know, but he's got some arms on him. He's working them biceps.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him.
Boo a latte. I just couldn't pass this up. And this is a 14 count brown Ada
Thing.
that I got from 123 Stitch.
One of our favorite faces.
My current whip that I had hoped to get finished by the end of
Mania.
Didn't happen, but that's okay. I have, I'll get it done. I'm working on him in lieu of starting my Rouse Howl. So, and I put some stitches in him yesterday. He finally got a hand. But this is Frankie.
He has a crop top right now.
Yes, he has
How
a crop
sexy.
top. Frankie's going to be
showing them abs, Frankie.
But
where did you get those abs?
But it goes. I've got the head this way, the feet over here, and then
You're gonna kind of split them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna split them up and put them in order. And I was thinking about stitching a little Frankie, like complete, but I don't know now. I think I'm just gonna do it the way.
I think there's only so much Frankie you want to stitch right now.
Yeah,
and that might be.
I want to get this one done and finished, but I don't really have that much more to do on it. Honestly, it's just I'll flash what I've. That's about all I have. And if you guys, honestly, if you can read that chart, if you can read it, awesome. But that's what it looks like. Especially this one that's all colored in.
Right.
Yeah, I got a little carried away with the highlighter. It was fun. What can I say? I was bored.
We like office supplies. School supplies. Like, that's my favorite thing about summer ending is all the school supplies. Staples clipboard. I love this little clipboard. It fits perfectly in my bag. I can put my pattern on it. It looks kind of like prison stripes, too.
Polka dots and stripes.
Stripes. Uh-oh, you're fashion. Fashion police are going to come for you.
I love clipboards.
Tell them to go to hell.
Right. And that's it. No, that's not it. I do have another little whip.
I don't have that many whips.
Is she in here? She must be in the bottom of the bag. She is. Indeed. Okay. So, while I was waiting for Angie, hi Angie, to join me on our
IG Live,
on our Instagram Live, I decided that I bought this kit, like, I think on Stash Unload or somewhere. I don't remember. It's an old video if you can find it. It is called Ghost Inn, and I got it on, it's a 36 count linen, which I was scared of.
Yeah, that's a high count for me.
So, I was scared of it.
Scared?
But it's so cute, and it's Halloween, and it's little.
I don't think they could see it very well. Let's try. Yeah, there we go. You can see it. That's cute.
Isn't it just adorable? Like the pumpkins and the tombstones. I love it. The moon. I thought it was adorable. And so it came with everything you need, the floss and even a needle.
Ooh, a needle.
Yes, so fancy.
So fancy.
And I got 4 stitches.
I guess Angie came pretty quick to the...
She did. Angie finally, she jumped on and I was like, and plus I was in a tea shop and trying to see those stitches. It was a little dark in there, so I was really having to
zoom in.
Try to find them. It was tough.
I don't even try that. I put my magnifiers on and just it's okay. You okay?
Yeah, that's for Frankie. That's for Frankie. Okay. So I was just making sure I didn't get my floss mixed up. So
that is cute.
Because it came with its own fancy floss.
Fancy.
And I pulled this out. I bought this when Annie and I went to Kentucky a couple of years back.
Oh yeah, to their Stitch Niche, right?
Yeah, to the Stitch Niche.
Lexington, Kentucky.
In Lexington.
Stitch Niche.
And I thought, you know what? I need to stitch this. So it's out. It's in my bag. I don't know whether I'll start it because I do need to start my Here There Be Monsters for the Ralsal, which I'll probably start on Monday. Well, yeah, probably Monday.
Is that what you're doing for the Moby Dick?
That's what I'm doing for the Moby Dick. That's what Sherry and I had said we were going to do.
She did it for Stitch Mania.
She did it for Stitch Mania. She got going on it and couldn't quit.
Yep, and she finished it.
So I'm stitching by myself now. And she's going to town on those bees. Have you seen? Mm-hmm. She's in love with Elizabeth Designs, she said. So good for you, girl. You go.
You get it.
So those are my FOs, my whips. Oh, another FO. This is English paper piecing. It's not FFO'd because it's not done. It's just the piecing part. On Etsy, I was looking for EPP papers, like already done, different shapes. And there's a lady in Longview, Texas, here, who puts together these kits, and you get everything you need. You get the paper, you get the fabrics and everything. And I saw this chicken, and I thought, oh, he's so cute. So I got it. It's supposed to be a mug rug. This is my face.
It's a big mug.
I don't know what kind of mugs they drink out of in Longview.
Like a mug landing pad, maybe, or something.
But I'm thinking more hot pad or
maybe like bowl pad.
Yeah, because
maybe it's one of those big soup mugs. Maybe.
I've got big soup mugs over there, and it would still only fit on the chicken.
Well, you know.
So it's giant, but I love it. It's so cute. So I'm gonna finish it. I might a candle mat maybe.
Maybe it's for 2 mugs.
Maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Double mug rug.
Or a candle mat. And you would cover up your chicken. So whatever, but
yeah,
it's so cute.
It's a thing that she's done.
Oh, you know what? Maybe you set your one mug over here, and then you don't cover up your chicken.
Yeah. It's a double mug rug, maybe.
The double
I was
mug
thinking.
Rug. So I got this one, and then I have one that's more. It's got the Statue of Liberty. It's kind of a model. Patriotical
aged.
It's really cool. The center hexie is very cool. Nice. But I think the other shapes are similar. Well, no, because I got it different. It's got different shapes around the hexing.
Gotcha. So. Okay, that's kind of cool.
And my last whip is from Violet Craft. Paper piecing. Something that's not hexies.
It's an owl.
It's an owl. It's called a barn owl. And this is his face, obviously. And I've been working on it just at EPP Club, which is the last Sunday of the month. So I thought I would just make this my take 2 meeting. This is foam core, and just kind of jigsaw it together. So lots of fun.
That's great.
I'm going to finish the other side of the face, and then I got to message Violet because I'm confused.
Some of them aren't quite lined up. So.
Yeah, they're not quite getting there, so I'm a little worried. But I'm doing something.
She was texting me, guys.
I'm doing something wrong. But we'll get there. If I have to rip it out, I have to rip it out. No big deal. So I'm okay with that. It's the process with me rather than the product. So
the journey more than the destination.
Exactly. So that is it.
Those are your whips and FOs?
Those are my whips and FOs. I do have.
We ain't done.
No, there's nothing here to really show. It's just I'm starting my we're going to start eventually. We picked the fabric up on Thursday as well for my papel, the Barbie's Pedal Pushers Day of the Dead. So we decided on this fabric. Drew, if you're watching, this is the one I bought from you.
It's pretty.
And it's Fabric Flare.
So it's a printed one? Or?
Yeah, it's Fabric Flare. Halloween purple and
green. Yeah, which is pretty accurate. That's
and it's 18
count Ada.
Yeah, 18 count Ada. So very excited. Angie and I and a few of our viewers that were watching it said
on Instagram Live
said this will on. So.
And where was I?
Work.
I was at work.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't?
No.
Okay. I was somewhere indisposed.
Yes. You were waiting in the waiting room.
Yep.
Yeah. She didn't join until later.
Teamed on you.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's it. I have
tea.
I'm having my tea.
I'm tea.
You go.
Okay. I get to go now? I get to go? Really?
Your turn.
I'm so excited.
Your turn.
I'm so excited. I get to go. Okay. So this was my Mania piece. This is pretty much all I worked on for cross-stitch wise in May. I worked on my MFE sow, and I finished all of January. There's a lot of freaking effort here.
You got a little of February.
Yes, I started working on February a little bit.
Oh, I gotta buy you.
But right now, I want to work on something else. I stuck with it. I stuck with my Mania plan. I made some progress. I never thought I was going to catch up to current, but I made progress. And I liked it. Once it started out really slow, but once I started actually getting into some of these motifs here, and you see my chicken, that's a chicken. That's not a robin or anything. That's a chicken. Once I got into like the chicken and the snowflakes and that type of stuff, that worked up pretty quickly, and that was fun. I think
the border is tedious.
It's the borders that get tedious. So once you get into the motifs, it's kind of fun. So I'm gonna.
And she did a good thing. She started that stupid deer from the top and went down.
Actually, I met in the middle on that one.
Did you?
Because what I did, I'd stitch over here, and I'd be like, I'm bored with this. I'm gonna start over here. And so I'm like, I'm bored with this. I'm gonna start here. So I actually worked it both directions.
Good deal. At least it came out right. She didn't have to rip hers out like I did.
Yeah, I did have to. This little motif over here, there were some things not lining up, and I had to rip this out once. But after that, I counted and extra counted and all that stuff. So now I think once a lot of this stuff has been laid down, then it's easier to continue on.
Your link needle minder goes good with this. So cute.
It's one of my new needle minders, which I'll have more of those to show because I went crazy. But it's Legend of Zelda: Link the Wind Waker. So that was one of my mania things, and then I didn't make much progress on the watermelon socks, but I do have them this time to show off. So there's that. There we go.
They're so pretty. Nice. Oh, look at the seeds. They're so cute. I'm sorry, she's gonna get them over. Y'all can see them too. This is the top. Look at those little seeds in there. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, so that's as far as I got. That's just one sock, but I like the way it's striping up, and you have the little seeds matching up, and all the little colors. So it's working out fun. I just
And where is that yarn from?
This is Artistic Yarns by Abby, but there's a lot of people that make self-striping watermelon yarn now, so you can probably find it just about anywhere on Etsy. And
she's the one that did the candy corn and the paper and the pencil too.
Yeah, she's done a lot of the stitches up into a picture type yarns, so she does a lot of those. And what I've been working on recently while waiting in the car and waiting rooms and just at work, because I saw Kay's Cross Stitch talk about this.
Is that
This is my sockhead hat. Because she was working on hers, and I thought, I'd pull mine out and I can show mine too. So Kay, if you're watching, here is my sockhead hat. And this
which she's been working on since November.
Who, me?
Since cruise.
Yeah, that was like last year. This is just one of those things I pull out every now and then because right now I'm in stockinette wasteland here.
Just knit,
this is just knit in a circle forever. So it's really good if you're just in the car in the waiting room. I've been doing it, and if I go out for lunch and want to sit in my car for a bit, I just take this out and knit on it. It's all good.
Don't do that now. It's hot. You'll die.
I keep the AC on.
Okay.
Because I will die. Let me see.
It's very hot out there.
I have one more knitting thing to show, and this was my Memorial Day start. I usually have starts for Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. I don't know. Seems like a good day to start stuff, doesn't it?
Are you going to start another pair of socks next month?
Yeah, why not? I do what I want.
We always start socks in July.
Yeah, we have a July sock along. We used to joke that whoever finishes last has to buy the coffee for everyone else. So it's been her the past few years. I think last year's, did I finish mine from last? I don't remember even, but it's all good. Okay, this is what I cast on for. This is a cabled wrap sweater. And I didn't bring a picture of the back, but essentially it's going to be one long rectangle.
This right here is straight across the back, and then
the bottom is straight across,
and then it seams right.
It seamed at the two short ends are seamed together to make a loop. They're seamed together and twisted, and then you sew a little space on the back to kind of keep it all together. So it's like a vest, boob holder, whatever. It looks cool, and I'm trying to upsize it because big people need knits too. So I've done 2 of the repeats so far on this.
That color's showing a little more brown. It's got more red in it, but
yeah, this is Woolies worsted chestnut heather.
You got a pretty cable.
Yeah, I love the way it's cabling up, and it's working up pretty quick. I've been able to stitch because it's about an 18-row repeat right now, and I've been able to get like a whole repeat done like in the evenings after work, so because there's not that many stitches. So the largest size in this pattern calls for 20 repeats, but of course that's their version of extra large, so I'm probably going to have to do more than that, because I was looking online and some other people, when they were smaller than me, and they had to do more repeats to get it to fit too. So I'm expecting more repeats, which is fine.
So how many skeins of this do you gonna need?
It says 400 yards. Woolies comes in like 197 yard skeins, about 200 give or take. So at least 2 of these, maybe 3, depending on how much I add to it. So.
And you either gonna go sweat in your garage and find them or order?
Yep. They still make this color, so it's all good. Yeah,
Isn't
apparently.
it dye lot specific?
Yeah, but who cares?
Okay. Sorry, Mary.
I'm not even that sorry. So with dye lots, for those people who don't know, some yarn, not all yarn. If you're using like Red Heart, it doesn't have dye lots. It's standardized, and the same way DMC colors are pretty much standardized.
Yeah, we're talking more like your classic Colorworks weeks, things like that.
Where different dye lots can look, even though it's the same color, can look slightly different.
Right.
So Woolies is dye lot specific, and when you're buying yarn for a whole project, you want to try and match dye lots as much as possible, because sometimes there can be drastic differences. The reason I am not worried about this, well, I should tell the story behind it. I've been cleaning up my craft room a lot and making a lot of progress on it. As a result, I packed away a lot of bins of yarn to put in my garage. The good thing is that's good against that's good protection against moths because of how hot it gets in Texas, and it basically kills anything in the yarn, so that's one bonus to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking on my shelf to start this, and I saw 5 balls of Woolies, and they all looked to be about the same color. So I just grabbed one, and I'm like, okay, it's Woolies worsted weight, and I picked one of my wrap patterns that's in worsted, cast on, started that. I went back today and looked, and I realized the 4 other balls are Woolies chunky. So I have other balls of this Woolies color somewhere, and it's probably the same dye lot. So I'm going to try and look for it, but if I can't find it, because I'm only going to stay in the garage for so long in Texas, I'm not, nobody wants roasted rotisserie Annie. That's just weird. But if I can't find it, I'm just going to order it online. It's going to be a different dye lot, but it's also going to be wrapped. So it's not going to be as noticeable if it's a drastic color difference, which with most Woolies, I've never seen that drastic of a color difference between dye lots. I've never seen it, so...
Some of the other hand dyed, you can really tell. But
yeah, if it's custom, like an indie dyer and stuff, not manufactured dyed, it's because there's a lot more variation in their dye process, so you can tell a big difference.
Yeah, but we have a friend, God love her, who used to work at Joann's, and she would take forever checking people out because she checked everybody's dye lots.
Like, my thing is, as a knitter yourself, that's kind of your responsibility to check your dye lots. Like, it could be that somebody's buying a lot of yarn and they're not all using it for the same project, so they don't care if the dye lot matches. They could be doing it for different projects.
Right.
So I'm not going to take
Those blues could be... 4 blues could be in 4 different projects.
Right. Should they maybe make 4 baby hats? And so it doesn't really matter if the dye lots match, because you're not using the same project. But she would take it upon herself to check people's dye lots. I'd be like, if you're curious about that, just ask them what they're making. And then if you happen to notice maybe the dye lots are off, you could ask them, Like, I just wouldn't assume to check people's dye lots. That's their business, kind of. But that's just...
I worked at Joann's, too. I never checked dye lots. That's on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's your project, your business. You do you, I'm not any sort of craft police. Personally.
Sparkles.
Yes, you're glittering. It's like a disco hijab.
It's so funny because I don't really notice it just like looking at it, but on camera
it is kind of, it's like nightclub wear there. It's your cocktail dress.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
So, my sewing project, or my quilting project,
Woohoo!
I'm still working on my blocks of the month, and I had my meeting today.
I'm sorry, did I ever show my finished table runner?
No, I don't think so.
You keep going, I'll go get
Okay, good, because you showed a lot of stuff.
I did.
Time for me to show stuff.
No, you keep doing you. I'm going to go get it because I was just thinking, I don't think I ever showed that. I think I showed it in the works, but I don't think I ever showed it, like, finished.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you showed it in the works. I don't think I've seen it finished even. Okay, but these were last month's block of the months for my Christmas Saturday sampler. And they were originally supposed to be like half red, half green. I combined the colors because I like the way that looks better. And I really like the way the red turned out. The green's okay, but I really like the red mostly. So I finished these last night because I had the meeting today, and I you have to show them finished
to get your
next one for free, or else you have to pay for it, which it's not that much. But still, I dropped it for free. She'd drop out.
Well, you know what happened at the end.
Quilting school dropout.
Yeah, you know what happened at the end. Shut up.
Sewing day for you.
I still get sewing day, damn it. Anyway.
Day for you. Quilting block dropout.
Well, with everything that was going on at the end of April and May, I was just like, screw it. I'm done. So,
but I'm going to finish because I like free stuff. I already started on it. I don't...
She's not a dropout.
I'm not dropout. And it's free, and it's they're all different, like little blocks each month, so it helps me perfect or expand my skills.
Yeah, it's very different shapes of the
little ornaments.
The piecing and everything is done. It's all different, so it's a good basic foundation learning piece. So
yeah, so I kind of like it for that. I don't know if I'll keep the quilt once it's done. I'm gonna give it to somebody. I haven't decided yet. So
it's actually, I think it's gonna turn out really cute.
I think it will too. So.
I did join I did join a class there that I'll be taking this month, and foundation paper piecing, which I've been wanting to know more about, so I thought I'll just take a class on it and see what I can learn. I've watched some videos, so I kind of know the basics, but maybe like putting it all together and actually putting together we're making a little like wall hanging type thing. We can expand it if we want to, like on our own, but yeah. So
you're gonna show your piece now?
I am gonna show my piece that this is a finished piecing piece. It is a table
runner.
I wouldn't even really call it a runner. It's like a table
centerpiece, maybe
centerpiece type thing. This is it.
Pretty. You covered. I can see through it. Maybe.
Yeah. It is all pieced together, and I really like how it turned out. It's just basic colors. These yellows are wonderful. My plan is to back it with a mustard, and then trim it out in a dark gray.
Oh, cute.
And a backing, haven't decided yet.
So are you going to cut like the edge to make it?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm probably going to do that on our next sewing day with somebody's help.
Okay.
Up there.
Okay. So I'm like, I mean, I'll help, but I don't know if you want me help. Yeah. I might be able to cut a straight line. Who knows?
Or I might just... I don't know whether I'm going to, because I'm going to have like a couple of inches of, or like maybe like an inch and a half of the yellow showing
sticking out
underneath.
Yeah.
So I might just applicate it down, the point.
I gotcha. That might be cute, just depending on how you want it to look.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fine either way. It'd be great. It's creative.
So, and I made a little ironing board.
So what's the base? Just a piece of wood? Or?
The base is 2 pieces of foam core put together, but to make the thickness, and some batting. Some regular
cotton batting, and then
batting.
What's that on top?
This is indoor-outdoor fabric.
Like multi-purpose kind of fabric. Gotcha.
So
it works pretty well?
It works fantastically.
Awesome.
I have used it to iron some little pieces. I bought a little tiny iron because you know how we go to our quilting retreat place and the iron's way over there?
Yeah.
And then we have to wait sometimes.
And people have like the tiny, because I never understood the point of those little tiny irons, but I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand if you have tiny pieces that you have to
like your quilt blocks of the month, those little things, because you sew them, then you have to go iron, then you come back and you sew again, then you have to go iron again. That's ridiculous. So having a little small iron, and I have a tray table that my son-in-law gave me, so I'm hoping before the 24th to have that covered and ready for us to
Is that our next day?
The 23rd or the 24th?
Hold on. Don't mind me, I'm checking the calendar.
No, it's the 30th, sorry.
Yeah, because I'm like, I thought I was doing something else on the 24th, so.
Well, 24th is EPP Club. So apparently you're not coming to that one either.
I'm not. No, I think I have something with my ham radio club that weekend.
Okay. So the 30th.
I might come to the EPP. I don't know.
The 30th is our next. So
yes.
By the 30th, I'm hoping I gotta go get some. I gotta find a piece of fabric big enough to cover it, some batting, and then the reason I haven't finished it is a staple gun. I don't know whether, but then I thought maybe
I have a staple gun somewhere.
Well, then I thought maybe I would just like run elastic around it. That way, if we got it,
that we could you could take it off and wash it. If
take it off and just glue the down the batting. Maybe like staple gun down the batting and then do the.
I don't know. We can figure it out.
Yeah,
it's all good.
So between now and then, I should hopefully have that done, so we can, because we usually set like towards the end, and we can set
where they keep the bad people.
Yeah, so we can set our table where nobody would be walking through except for us, because that's where our design board is, and then we could just have our little ironing station that we can just roll over to when we need to iron these little teeny tiny things, instead of, because when the place is full, when it's not full, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But when it's full, you have to, there's like 3 or 4 ironing stations. You got to look around which one's free. Maybe the one next to you is free. Maybe the one all the way over there is free. And it's just, and then you have to get around people, and it's just, I want my own.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do this. They have those little folding trays, and they have their own. And they don't get up and go.
For the tiny ironing stuff. Like if you're ironing like a huge piece, then it's easier to go use the big one.
Yeah.
But for the tiny little blocks, then it makes more sense to just do your thing.
Yeah. So. And then I have this one just for
home stuff, kind of.
Home stuff for like when I fussy cut and when I do things like that. Then I can just like one of my little squares might be wrinkled or something, and I can just do that and done. So
yeah, I actually got a door hanging folding ironing board for my craft room. Got to use it last night. It works great.
I got Suki one of those. She loves it. It's hangs on the door to her hot water heater.
That works.
And it's on the inside because it was, and so she just opens that, folds it down, irons, and done.
I love that. I remember in some of the old houses, like the ironing boards were actually built into the wall, like they kind of folded up.
Yeah.
The cabinet. I love those. And I actually, when I was looking for my folding down one, door hanging one on Amazon, I actually found some of those where it's like a whole built-in cabinet that you could get. Of course, they're like a couple $100 on some of them. So I'm like, I'll just get the cheapy folder. It's okay.
They're
Nothing
fantastic.
Fancy.
I know. I remember my grandmother had one of those.
Yeah, I love those things.
In the laundry room. It just opened the cabinet.
And then, it drops down. I lived in a house where it was like in the kitchen, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And it's an ironing board. It's awesome.
They're great. They really are. They need to start doing that again.
Yeah, I'm going to show some of the loot I got. Loot haul, whatever you want to call it. These I picked up today after my quilting block of the month met, because I've been wanting these. This is an air erasable marker. This I mainly got for, it's not really good for cross stitch because when you need to make lines on fabric, you need ones that stay there for a long time. This basically disappears after like a couple hours. This is good for quilting because I'm doing a lot of the half square triangles, and you want to draw a line like right in the middle so it helps guide you.
So you know where you're stitching.
Where you're stitching. It's just a little easier to keep an eye on. So I decided to get one of those, and I got a little fabric glue pen because I'm gonna try EPP with glue basting instead of thread basting.
My chicken, everything except for the chicken is glue basted because points smaller than, and my owl face is all glue basted. So because it's just wonky, all of the shapes are wonky. My big pieces, I might do thread, but I think they come down to a small point. The background of it, I think they come down into a smaller point, so I may have to glue base those too.
Swag.
And Angie's wanting to learn how to EPP now. So
good for you, Angie.
I know, and so is Maggie. So so she's
spreading it far and wide.
Yes, we are. So hopefully she will have some stuff to show on EPP soon, and Angie too. I'm sending Angie a little starter kit because I'm of the opinion that if you can get it from someone who has done it and they like it, you don't know whether you like it or not. Why spend the money gathering the stuff to buy it when you might not even like it?
Or
so share. Yeah. So just share.
Or my thing is at least make it more accessible, because I saw some EPP kits on Etsy and stuff. Some of these were like $40, $50+, and I'm like, for a craft you just want to try out, that's ridiculous.
If I sold EPP starter kits, I'd probably do them for about $10, to be perfectly honest, because all you basically need is some fabric strips, 2 to 2.5 inches wide, some paper pieces, which you can get 100 hexes, 2-inch hexes on paperpiecing.com for like $3, and just divide those up. And yeah, if I made starter kits to sell, I would not be selling them for $45. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, some of them, and these were just for basic hexagons, nothing fancy like the owl face or anything, which I can understand if that's more customized, that'd be a bit more expensive, but I don't even think that whole kit was all that expensive.
The kit for the EPP pieces in the pattern was like $25 or $29. So it's not bad. I mean, you get all the wonky cut pieces and the map on how, and then instructions on how to do it. Fabrics are up to you, or you can. I bought the fabric kit from Robert Kaufman, and it was like $30. So I mean, but it's something I know I like. I mean, I wouldn't buy this as a beginner going, okay, and then go, I don't want it. That's just a waste of...
I would just say there's some crafts that I think tend to be a little too gentrified. I think we've mentioned that before. Yeah, but so. Anyway, I don't want to get on another soapbox. We've already gotten on a few on this one already.
No soapboxes. No more soapboxes.
So, a couple weeks ago, I went with my coworker Cassandra to one of our local needlework shops, the Stitch Niche, which is all the way over in Arlington. We're in the Dallas area. So we took a trip out there one Saturday and we spent a lot of time out there. I don't remember the guy's name, but it was
Steve. I think his name is Steve.
The guy, there's a guy working there and he was really awesome. So
he's the framer.
Yeah, he does the custom framing. I think he's the husband of the one of the owners. Or...
No, he was he's like one of the original employees there.
No, I thought he talked about his wife or something. Like she wasn't in that day, or
maybe he's married to Debbie.
It could be. I think it's Debbie. Yeah, I think that's Debbie's husband. But anyway, so picked up a few patterns. I decided to go ahead and get myself some Forest of Sumatra here, just because I love ink circles, and I have the Big Red Ship of Life, and this one reminds me a lot of it. It's still based on some of the same Indonesian sampler motifs and everything.
Yeah, I want the Big Red Ship. Too.
Yeah, Big Red Ship, and I also want to get Dragons of Sumatra. That one's awesome too. And then I thought about this one for a while. It's one of those I thought about, do I really want, decide to just get it. So this is Pumpkin Spice Farm.
I want it.
Because I like me some pumpkin spice.
We do. We are, in the fall, we are so basic, it's not even funny.
And so my last pattern I purchased is this one, Bittersweet September by Blackbird Designs. So I saw this online, and then I saw it in person. I'm like, this is a really tiny chart. Like, look at this. It's like, it fits in my hand, tiny chart. But I love it because it has a cute little house. It's fall themed, has a moon.
It has an alphabet.
Has an alphabet. I'll put something like pumpkin spice for life.
I love houses. I like stitching houses.
Makes me dream of the house I don't actually own.
And I don't mind. Excuse me. I don't mind stitching alphabets either. Surprisingly.
It
can or words. I like to stitch words. Words and houses.
Sweet. But I like this one. They have one that's out of print called Bittersweet Moon that I've been looking for. I hope they re-release that because that one's really cute too. And it has moons. Because moons are important.
So Blackbird Designs, if you're watching.
Because you're totally watching, I'm sure. Who wouldn't? Anyway. So, and the one thing I like about Stitch Niche is they have like a little fabric like odds and ends pieces section.
They do. They've seen when I was first doing them by myself. I bought some odds and ends from them.
But this is a 30 count chartreuse linen. This is Weeks Dye Works.
It is reading a little darker. This is really quite
like lime green,
like very electric. Bright.
So what I was thinking on this one is doing something black, Halloween like, and I was actually thinking of like the old witch silhouette from
the one I'm doing.
The not Prairie Skirt, Little Stitcher. Because, you know, that's done on like a prim vintage mocha.
The Wise Old Witch or something?
The Wise Old Witch, I think. Because it's like on a, you know, it's primitive style and everything. But I'm like, okay, that primitive stitch, but on some like bright green fabric, I think would look great.
Because it's just a silhouette. I think that looks fantastic on there.
And this is another piece. I think I'm going to do my pumpkin spice farm on this. But this is a 30 count R&R 30 count linen lacrosse blend. It's a 12 by 17. I think that's plenty big for Pumpkin Spice Farm.
And how much were these each?
This one was like $10.
That's not bad. They have cuts sometimes that are very decent size for like $3 or $4. So
yeah, these were like fancier name brand linens. They're a little bit more. Yeah, I think the green was like $8 or something.
That's not bad. So, yeah. I did today order some orphans from Ship's Manor.
Ship's Manor? Yeah, I like them. I showed a couple of Ship's Manor fabrics on my road video.
She did. I saw 2 orphans that I absolutely loved and had to buy them. Because they're orphans, they're sad.
Yeah, because looking at some of these dye places, and maybe it's just me, I don't always want to wait 4 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks for a custom dye.
I'll randomly go check their orphans, his orphans, and see what he has in there. And this time I found 2 that I really loved, and so I bought them. One was $8 and the other was like $14, and they're pretty good size. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this.
Yeah, I got a couple of those, but I think the way Ship's Manor does their fabric of the month, like on the first of the month they release what colors are going to be.
Did you see the ones for this month? He's put them on Facebook. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I think what you can do is like they say this is the color, and you can go buy it then if you decide you like that color, and I think there's a limited amount and it eventually sells out. So I think that's kind of interesting as opposed to just sign up for it and being surprised, which, I mean, being surprised can be fun, but this way you actually know what you're getting and you can choose to buy it then.
It's a green and a cream, I think, or kind of a yellow. They're super pretty.
Nice.
Check it. Ship's Manor's Facebook. He posted it, so if anybody's interested.
Oh yeah, because it's the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check that out too. But I like the way he does it.
She hasn't sent me my stinking.
She sent me my invoice today. Had it corrected because I bumped
Maggie said she got hers. If it's alphabetical, she's an S. I'm an S.
I don't know. Because I'm an A, and I didn't get mine till today. But it could be. I think it's her and another lady working on it.
Nancy and
Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn's the one who was communicating with me before. So very good.
So, and when I was cleaning out my craft room, I found a couple other things I had stitched forever ago.
I remembered these, but she had never shown them on.
Yeah, I never showed them on Flosstube.
Never pulled them out, so I didn't know what happened to them.
Yeah, they've never even been FFO'd. But this is a little heart that is Korean. It says Sarang Hayo, which is I love you. So I was going to do like I love you too. Anyway, so I'm going to probably just stitch this into a little tiny pillow ornament or something to hang up near my husband or something. So it's like with a picture next to me and thinking, if you can be married to this psycho for so long and still love her. And then I stitched a little mandu, a little dumpling. And these are both Andy Wabi Sabi patterns. She's a designer on Etsy. She has other Korean themed ones too, and then she has a lot of non-Korean themed ones. Because we don't want all Korean stuff.
Her boba. Did you show her?
No, I Need Boba Now. Yeah. That's actually Nerdy Little Stitcher.
Oh, is that Nerdy Little Stitcher?
That's Nerdy Little Stitcher.
I thought that was Andy Wabi Sabi.
No, the Perky was Andy Wabi Sabi.
Perky is Andy Wabi Sabi.
Yeah, and then these are Andy Wabi Sabi too. So, oh, I can show more loot here. This is, as I showed last time, this is my needle minder board.
Bring it more over.
And
sorry, I touched your boob.
No, you didn't. I'm jealous you didn't. Okay, so I've got a lot of little needle minders to show. We have Mr. Moon here.
Isn't he cute?
I'll pop him off. I saw this. These are all mad for minders, and I'm like, it's a creepy moon face who's eyeing you. Like, I see what you did there.
Oh, these are mad for minders?
Yeah, all of these that I got this past time.
Okay, what else did you get?
And let's see. Oh, Pusheen.
She's crazy about
Harry Potter Pusheen.
Isn't she cute?
Look at that. It's a cat wizard. And of course, I think she can't use the word Pusheen because Pusheen's trademarked and stuff. And it's Pusheen in a donut. Because who doesn't want to be a chunky cat in a donut? That's awesome.
Right.
And then I had to get a lot of the vintagey movie poster ones. This is Godzilla, King of Monsters. And this is the one with good old Raymond Burr, Perry Mason.
Oh, is this the one we watched?
Yes, that's the one we watched. And then, anybody remembers the first song in Rocky Horror? Science fiction double feature. Michael Rennie was ill the day the earth stood still. But he told us where we stand. And Flash Gordon was there in silver underwear. Claude Rains was the Invisible Man. And then at one point it goes, and at a deadly pace, it came from outer space. This is a hilarious movie. You can actually see the frickin' lines, the cables that are holding up like the monsters and crap. It's so funny. Anyway, so there's that one. And then Frankenstein, the original horror show. And I think she has a Bride of Frankenstein one too, but I was like, I'm already buying so frickin' many of these needle minders, I need to slow down. And I think, is that all of them? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. And my Link one. That's also mad for minders. So I went crazy with the needle minders.
She did.
It was awesome.
She did. I did get a few since our last Flosstube. I'll show them next time. I got the one from the lady in Florida.
Oh yeah. I haven't ordered hers yet. Some people, I like the rare earth magnets, the neodymium magnets, but not everyone uses those on their needle minders.
And she does. She's one that doesn't, and I like them. I use them on my door because my door is it's magnetic. It's metal, and I can So if I need my husband to remember to take something or to work, or if I need to remember to take something with me when I go out, and it's paper, I can just I stick it there, and that way everybody knows that needs to go out the door with you. So
okay, and I think we mentioned before that we're starting our RALSAL for Moby Dick.
Yes.
Our read along stitch along.
Hashtag RALSAL.
RALSAL. And for me, I'm doing O Whale, which I showed last time, and I'm substituting all of the floss for some of my fancy floss.
What are you gonna stitch it on?
I'm just going to stitch this. I have some platinum colored Ada, like Charles Craft Ada. I'm just going to do that.
Cool.
Because sometimes I need to give my eyes a break from all that linen from the MFE Sal. But I'm using a lot of Victorian Motto.
Ooh, these are pretty.
I'm using, I think I'm using a brown color in cotton.
Yeah.
And then I have like a little blue from XJU Design.
Tropical Wonder, Sedona. That's
Color and Cotton.
Color and Cotton. Coastal Seaweed. Perfect.
Blarney Green.
Blarney Green. Shades of Coral and Prim Mint.
Prim Mint. And here's this is like the little sample thread from XJU Designs, whatever you want to call it. And I think, what am I gonna? Yeah, there's one of the whales that's kind of a blue color, and I'm like, I can kind of use that cute little blue for this.
I think these will be gorgeous on there for that. Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, man, I got a lot of like strange, like kind of seaweedy greens last time, so I was like, yeah, I know what I'm using for that.
Are you gonna hand me my cigar box?
Sure.
Okay, sorry, my nose was
draining.
So, I had been like, where am I going to put my flancy floss?
Flancy floss.
And on my birthday weekend, we went down to Hill Country and we went to a couple of cigar shops, and I got this Cohiba cigar box that's got a snap. It's an actual snap on there. So I've got all my fancy floss and some postcards, stored in here. It's got all of my Victoria Motto sampler threads up to date. It's got all of my
the old color and cotton ones.
The color and cotton ones, and then some that people have sent me with my some that I've got with purchases, some that I've gotten just people sent me when they sent the ATCs, and so
awesome.
Yippee. But it's full, so I may have to make a trip to a cigar store, get a cigar, another big cigar box too. But I think keeping them in these wooden cigar boxes is a good idea, just because, you know,
you can get them for pretty cheap from various cigar stores that have sold out of those.
I think I paid like
couple bucks
for them, not more than $5 for these cigar boxes, and I bought several. I gave one each to my daughter, and I still have like 3 or 4. I kind of
went crazy on the cigar boxes.
Kind of went crazy on the cigar boxes, but I knew I could use them for stuff, so.
She was like, "What, cigar boxes?"
Yeah. Well, my daughter had asked me about it and about them, and I just never. I said I don't know, because she wanted one for putting stuff in, and I was just like, "Sweetie, I'm not sure, but if I ever see a cigar shop, I'll stop in." And then we actually went to one, which reminds me, we've got to get a date on the calendar for the boys.
Yeah.
After Ramadan.
Because my husband and I occasionally smoke cigars. We have a small humidor at home, but when we went down
will smoke cigars, and I don't. She does. I don't. But yeah.
Occasionally, but when we went to New Braunfels, they have the New Braunfels like tobacco house next to the quilt house. So Seth will usually go over to the tobacco house to have a cigar, and I'll go into the quilt store, and then when I'm done, I come and visit him in the cigar shop. And a lot of people, I guess, people get too used to actual cigarettes, and cigarette smoke and cigar smoke are drastically
totally different. And those places,
they have a lot
informed me they do have a lot of like air cleaners that keeps it
so the smoke doesn't stick.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks it away, and the humidors smell really nice and everything like that.
Their humidor smells so good.
Yeah.
There's a place here in Dallas, down in Bishop's Art District, isn't it? Or is it in Deep Ellum?
I thought you said Bishop Arts.
Yeah. That is, they roll their own cigars. They do specialty blends and stuff. And so we're wanting to take the boys there.
Yeah. It's a neat thing to see if you've ever seen cigar rolling.
I've never seen it, so I thought that would be fun. I don't know if my husband's ever seen it done, so I thought that would be something he might be interested in. So I take the boys down and Annie, and they can have a cigar, and I will watch.
Yeah.
And get to smell the yummy smells.
Yeah.
And maybe get a cigar box.
Cigar box. There you go. That's cool. Now, I saw a cigar roll. It was actually at the State Fair several years ago. They were doing a demonstration, and it was actually a Cuban gentleman who had worked on a cigar tobacco farm in Cuba. And basically, and he barely spoke any English. But I remember the gentleman talking about how Cuban cigars, this was before when we still had the embargo, how Cuban cigars were just well known worldwide for how, like, their quality and everything like that. And they said in most countries, a good Cuban cigar can go for this, it can go for sometimes hundreds, depending on how much it is. And so he was just like, how much do you think this gentleman here made? And I'm like, maybe $5 a month. Is what I said. And it's funny, apparently the Cuban gentleman understood me. He goes, yeah, that's how much some of these poor people in Cuba make. It's really sad. So, but he managed to make his way to the United States and still rolls cigars and makes way more money. Actually owns his own house and everything. So it's a great story.
It's an awesome story.
It's an awesome story. But anyway, so my last thing to show, since I usually like to show like stash stuff, because I've collected so much over the years, I decided to pull this book, this Pixel Crochet book. So these are all little granny squares, and these are
the
little
one
charts.
that you did the Cess thingy off of? Oh, okay.
No, these are different charts for
I want the cherries.
Yeah. Isn't that cute? But they actually have like a moon one in there, and of course I got to do the moon one.
Oh, there's a moon.
And these are for like big Afghan sizes. But
sorry guys, I saw it there.
La Luna, yeah,
La
right
Luna.
there. But you make your little granny squares. You can make a whole bunch of them, and then you sew them together in whatever form. And there's a lot of fun ones in there.
Oh, look at this rainbow hearts. You know, it's Pride Month.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. For you.
For you. But there's a smiley. There's all sorts of cute
It's
ones.
really cute. Oh, there's a
skull and crossbones there. Jolly Roger.
Jolly. I couldn't think of that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cheeky
I
monkey.
like the cloud.
Cloud.
That's on
Oh,
the
look
front.
at that. The happy cloud.
That's cute.
That is adorable. These are so cute. I love
If you think about it, it's almost like exploded cross stitch where it's kind of zoomed in, but you know, if you're just doing granny squares, a lot of crafts you can make into a chart.
Pride Week.
It's a month.
Pride.
Reducing them to a week there. You were talking about like radios, yeah, all sorts of things.
Oh, a ukulele.
And a beer.
And a beer.
I like the beer.
A beer.
Not a beer fan.
Make your husband a beer thing for the man cave.
There you go.
He doesn't have a man cave.
Mustache.
Oh yes, he has a man cave. He's got the game room.
Except I go in there too.
Well, you know, he
So
goes in your
it's when
craft
I'm a
room.
man. Apparently, I'm a bro.
He goes in your craft room.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep. What do they call them? The man cave and the she shed. A pig.
A pig and a cow.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really cute things in here. Oh, I like the one that says
game over. Yeah. There's a lot of cute little charts in here
Oh, it's a fox.
to make like a little crochet. I'm crazy over here flipping through. You've never
It's
seen
an
this
owl.
before?
I don't think I have seen it.
Okay.
An owl, a frog, and a bee. Look, Sherry. You and your honeybees over there.
Yep.
You and your bee sampler. Going to town. Oh, there's a double-decker bus. Number 6 to Piccadilly. A taxi and a tractor. I think it's a backhoe. That's not a tractor.
It looks like a caterpillar. What do they call it?
It's a tractor.
Tractor. Yeah.
It's a backhoe.
It's kind of tractor. I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody done.
Oh.
Never been on a farm.
Patriotical.
Patriotical.
In Canada.
Pam. Canonical.
Pam, if you're watching, look, there's a Canada. A Canada.
From Canada.
A maple leaf.
A maple leaf.
Oh, Luck of the Irish. An English rose.
Desert Island. And Earth.
Earth.
Is the Earth.
It's the earth.
A luchador mask and a geisha.
Oh, look, they go together. Look.
They totally go together. I think so.
Awesome.
Sounds like
These
the best
are
love story
so
ever.
Cute. You could actually cross stitch these too. You know.
You could, but I think it would be too tiny, kind of. Like you'd have to.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you'd have to kind of expand it like the little Space Invaders. Those are cute.
They are. Oh, grenade. I had one of those. Okay, there you go. Yep. That's an adorable book. I may have to borrow it someday.
Yep. So that's my stash. You have anything to show? Stash
No,
positions?
I have really no stash positions. I did get a few things for quilting recently. I bought a quarter ruler for foundation paper piecing because I'm taking that class. And I bought a rotating cutting mat.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Those are kind of cool. It's like a Lazy Susan.
Yeah, it's a Lazy Susan. I did not get this Sue Daily round one. I got one that's square, so I could use it for
multiple things.
More things because
yeah.
there's measurements and stuff on there. It's the Fiskars one.
Gotcha.
It came with 2 rulers and a tiny little, like a small rotary cutter for cutting like around. Because I'm going to start the pluses quilt, where you put 4 little houses together and it makes a plus sign, and then you do 4 more, and then you just keep doing that. So I'm going to have to cut my fabrics for that. So, and I started buying fabrics for it already.
Awesome.
So Not Your Mama sells fat 8s for like $1.99. So I saw a few in the basket, and I can get quite a few little house shapes out of those. So
nice.
I can get like 3 plus signs out of an 8.
Nice.
So I'm excited about starting that. I'm waiting for my papers and my acrylic piece, the acrylic piece especially,
template, yeah.
so that I can cut the
fussy cut and stuff.
Well, just so I can cut the shape, because putting it on a square is not going to work.
Gotcha.
So
sounds good. Awesome.
So I'm going to practice that, and that's why I got the rotary cutter, so I can go and then turn them at and not have to pick up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see. I get you. Well, my plans, I'm going to try to finish the squares, my quilt block of the month squares a little earlier this time.
Instead of the night before.
Instead of the night before, instead of, cramming for the exam the night before.
Her and her shoulder buddy at the thing today finished them last night.
Yeah. We were the slackers of all the quilting ladies. Well, she's
a slacker, I'm a dropout, it's okay.
Because one of the ladies was Tish, the owner of the shop, who was like kind of heading this meetup, and she was like, "Hey, did anybody do something different with their squares? You gonna share blah blah blah?" And this one lady's like, "I'm just doing good to get these squares done. I didn't finish mine until Wednesday." And the lady next to me was like, "I didn't finish mine until last night." I'm like, "Me too." We're quilting slackers back in the class type. So
they weren't sitting on the front row.
That's how we roll. It's all good. It's done. It didn't even have to look that nice. Okay, it just has to be done.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and work on those. And since we're starting the Ralph salad, technically started yesterday, June 1st. I was too busy with work and everything else, so I'm gonna probably be starting that Monday, and I'm just gonna listen to the free audiobook from Moby Dick, and stitch on my Oh Whale.
I will probably start Here There Be Monsters probably on Monday as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe tomorrow, depending on what we have going on. I don't know. We may go play with the grandbaby tomorrow, so go play with our Jacob boy.
Swag.
Adorable, so.
Oh, I see. Cassandra, my coworker, posted a photo in Texas Stitchers, and now it has this little pop-up in the corner.
I keep watching it.
And I saw Cassandra's face, and I'm like, Cassandra, I know her!
I keep watching it. That's why I will kind of lean in sometimes, because we're Texas Stitchers. If you guys are watching and you have joined the Smalls Exchange, I need your addresses. Tonight I have been working on teaming you up, but if I don't have an address, they ain't got nobody to send it to. They can just write your name on it and send it out to the world. But, need the addresses. So PM me your addresses. Oh, I do have an announcement to make. We will be inserting a picture here. And it is it'll probably also be our cover this time. Cooking with Flosstube. On Thursday, Angie and I did a live IG chat, and we were just talking random stuff like you do while you're stitching.
Shooting the breeze.
And the subject of food came up, and I was talking to her about a recipe, and Michelle on Facebook, Michelle, I cannot.
ADK Stitcher.
Yeah,
ADK
like Stitcher on Instagram. She said, "You know what? There should be a Flosstube cookbook," and we were like, "Oh,
that's a great idea.
There totally should be a Flosstube cookbook." And Angie's like, "Oh, and the proceeds can go to charity, like Bindy's charity, Michelle Bindy Stitchy.
Alzheimer's walk.
Her Alzheimer's walk. Fantastic idea." And there are other charities out there, so we thought we'd just kind of,
rotate them maybe, like
threw a few out there, and said, autism. I worked with special needs kids for the longest time, so autism is something that's very close to my heart, and we know that we have currently had some Flosstubers and designers and things who have suffered from breast cancer and, or are suffering right now. So we thought, those are 3 worthy charities that we could donate to.
Yeah.
I do not know right now what the price of the cookbook would be, but
we're going to be doing research.
We'll be doing
she has somebody who can print, so we're gonna.
I have someone who has done a cookbook like this. We're a group of people got together. They sent in a little blurb about themselves, who they are, if their Twitter handle, that sort of thing, because it was a Twitter group, mostly. And they produced a cookbook, and their cookbook, I remember the PDF version was like $10, and if you wanted a printed version, and she only did paperback, and I think it was like $20 or $25. So not too bad.
Yeah.
And the proceeds of it for both sales went to charity as well. So some educational charity thing, of course, because it was an educational group. But that's what we're thinking. And I'm going to be in contact with her on about it and who she used and everything, and maybe see if I can find someone cheaper or what.
Yeah.
But that's the plan. So you can send your recipes, and I'm going to put the email address across here. stitchinmisfits@gmail.com. We already have the file set up for gathering the recipes in the different categories: beef, chicken, fish, pork,
beverages,
adult beverages count. McKenna said she was going to send in her Dirty Shirley recipe. And so that's great. Caroline from Off the Grid has said she would send a chocolate chip cookie. So we're going to have a dessert section.
Awesome.
There will be a vegetable section. So
just whatever recipes.
Whatever you want.
Whatever we get.
We're going to set it up kind of like a cookbook. We ask that you send a photo. It can be a photo of you. It can be a photo of the food. It can be a photo of your favorite cross-stitch finish, FFO, of course. Okay.
Maybe a little blurb about yourself.
Yeah, a blurb about yourself, or the meaning behind the recipe. I did an example, which I put the title. I put my name of Stitch and Misfits. That's our YouTube channel. And then I put my Instagram @Hanan68. I put in a little picture of the food that I basically stole from Google. And then I wrote out a little blurb about it. It's kind of including learning how to cook Moroccan food from my ex-mother-in-law and da-da-da-da-da, and what the recipe was. And then the recipe directions, and that's it.
Well, and I think also because we have a lot of people that don't do Flosstube, but they watch Flosstube, it should be open to them too.
Oh, it is definitely open to Flosstube viewers. ADK Stitcher, who's basically, it was her idea that we should do this, is just a fan. Yeah. She does not. She
doesn't Flosstube herself.
She doesn't Flosstube herself. I don't make Flosstube videos, so.
Feel free to send in multiple recipes too.
Yes. Multiple recipes. I'm hoping my goal is to have 5 recipes, at least 5 for each category. And that would be, I think I counted, that would be like 50 recipes. And I think that's a decent, a decent
little cookbook there.
A decent little cookbook to start. Because we could do one like every other year or so, and donate the money to charity.
Or it just just depends on how much feedback we get, and we'll just go from there.
Right.
This is something that is just being thrown out there.
And like we said, 100% of the proceeds will go to charity. Well, besides paying for the books, depending, we'll figure it out. But we want as much of the proceeds to go to charity as possible. I know that the cookbook that my friends put together, they were able to donate over $1,000.
That's good. That's awesome.
And we do plan on making I do plan on having a PDF version. So if you
don't want
the actual book and your finances are
more limited,
you can still get the book and still participate and have your money go towards that as well.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll specify the charities as well. I know Bendy's is like her Alzheimer's walk. But, I mean, there's a lot of groups that do, you know, autism charities and breast cancer. So we'll get some specific ones as well for those who are interested.
But those were the ideas that were spitballed, and the ones we think we can do.
Yep. So yeah, send in your recipes. We'll put the address
here. And Stitchin' Misfits.
We'll see if we can make this happen.
I think we can.
Absolutely. I believe we can too.
All right. So we will see you again soonish.
Soonish. We'll see. Probably not in a couple weeks. Maybe a little bit later. Clinkies.
Clinkies.
Have fun, y'all.
Have fun.